Good morning, everyone. I'm Helena Jenikin, one half of the Emotion Code Divas. We're just getting ready for our 9:30 a.m. launch time, and Dan is just doing a little bit of technical stuff there in the
Mhm.
background. But just want to introduce to you this book, The Emotion Code. It's written by Dr. Bradley Nelson. Highly recommend it. You can learn more about what we do. It's a fabulous read. And yeah, so Dana, how are we doing over there in North
Excellent.
Vancouver?
Right. I am in North Vancouver and yeah, just checking one thing here. I think we're good. Yes, so the Emotion Code uh, book is where Helene and I first got started. We are both certified emotion code, not emotion certified emotion code divas. We call ourselves emotion code divas because we think it's a great name and we like being divas. But everything we learned from Dr. Bradley Nelson, we took his program and became certified. But you too can buy the book. As Helena said, you can also go to healerslibrary.com and check it out. So Helena and I decided to do this show um, with the intention of inspiring, educating, and also healing and releasing trapped emotions. So we have a viewer lined up today where we're going to work on some work relationships with them. But before we get started, Helena, why don't you tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Excellent. Thank you, Dana. I am Helena Jenikin. I am a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I have my professional office here on Vancouver Island in Cobble Hill. I see people also in Vancouver. I love working with men and women that are looking to release excess weight or have a smoking addiction problem, also medical anxiety, and that can include dental fears, pre-surgery worries, as well as general anxiety, social anxiety, and or lack of self-confidence. And I use both hypnosis and the emotion code with my clients.
Right, and it's such a great addition to what you're doing. Absolutely, no question. So I'm Dana J. Smithers. I took a course in numerology, and that J is super important in my name, so I'm using it as much as I can. So I'm a certified emotion code practitioner, as I just said, but I'm also a certified law of attraction trainer and business coach. So when I'm working with women, a lot of them are starting up in a business, maybe been business 3 to 5 years, and they're kind of stuck. So I create a marketing plan, a business plan. I've had 3 small businesses myself. I've created a nice 6-figure income for myself. So I like to work with people that are interested. It's women that I do work with, women solopreneurs who really are needing help with the clarity about what their business is, who do they serve. We work on marketing messages and things like just which social media sites are the ones for you, where are you going to find the age group that's attracted to you and going to hire you. So I do that. And I'm also a certified sacred gifts guide. So on today's program, I'm going to be talking a little bit about sacred gifts, as well as Helene and I will go through the 7 keys to doing an emotion code session. So that's a little bit about us and our topic for the week. Helena, do you want to tell people how we do our monthly episodes? And because they
Sure.
probably don't know that. Yeah.
Sure. So, what we are doing for February, it is all about um, heart and relationships. And so this month we did things about the heart wall. So we taught about the heart wall, release someone's heart wall so they could have a better relationships, and also that could affect their work as well as their money. Today we're going to be talking about work relationships. We've also talked about family relationships, and yeah, let me see.
And we did a
And
nice heart wall release as well.
yes, yes, relationship blues.
Yeah.
So people that want to have, maybe there was a little issue within the relationship, and that was our one of our first issues. Next month we've got some exciting stuff too, Dana. Do we want to just?
No, we're not going to tell them yet. They're going to wait till
No,
the end of the show.
I'm so
Excellent.
excited for next month.
Yeah, it's going to be great, great for men and women. Sorry, I mean women, but and the men that have to live with the women
That's
that are kind of
right.
going through that, what we're going to be talking about. So
That's
why
right.
don't we go ahead and just do the 7 keys, and we'll just say hello to a few people as well.
Yeah.
Who have you got there?
I've got Bethany. Bethany, fabulous massage therapist here in the Cowichan Valley area. Fabulous. Leslie Marshall and Natasha Paula Samuel. She is watching from very cold Romford, Essex.
Right,
Oh,
England. Yeah, we've got
England.
our viewers from around the world that we just love. So we'll keep saying hello to you as we move on with the show. So Helena, let's just go ahead and start with those
Excellent.
the keys.
So Dana, the first key is
There
permission.
we go.
Can you
Yeah. So
tell me more
we
about that?
can't, yeah, we have to ask people's permission. And if we can ask an adult, if we're working with an animal, then we can ask the owner of the animal. And if we're working with children, children that are still living at home that are in their parents' care, then we will ask the parents' permission if we can go ahead and work on them. And even as much as we might be having a conversation with someone, I know Helena, you've done it and I've done it, where they say, "Oh, I've got such a headache or a pain in my neck," and they're talking. We hear it. We overhear the conversation, right? And we like, oh, we so want to fix it. Like I've got the Emotion Code app on my phone, but you know what? If they haven't asked us, we can't do it. And we can't do it for somebody saying, "Oh, could you help my wife or my partner or my husband or whatever?" They have to be the ones that ask us directly, and we'll go ahead and do that.
Right. So Dana, the next key we have is proxy.
Proxy. So this is very important because Helena and I and most of the certified emotion code and body code practitioners do their work either over the phone, over Skype. You could do it over Blue Jeans like we're doing. I often do some just with people on the telephone, people I've never met, but they found me through my website or social media or YouTube channel or something, and want help with different things as well. So we then have their permission and we become their proxy. So it's just like in a board meeting when there's an AGM and people have to vote on something. If they're not there in person, then they just give a proxy. So basically we become your proxy and we are going to tap into, with your permission, into your subconscious mind once we start the process. So what's the next thing that we're doing, Helena?
We've got the severity.
Absolutely. So we will ask people on a scale of 1 to 10 how, severe. It could be emotional or physical pain, animals, children, adults, all of that. Any of all of that falls into people that categories that we work with. But if somebody says, well, it's a 2 or a 3, chances are it's not a 2 or a 3 because they really wouldn't be calling us, Helena, and asking for help. So they might say that, but we will also do check in and do the muscle testing ourselves since we are now the proxy and just find out. And more often than not, it's between an 8 and a 10. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having a conversation with them and they wouldn't feel stuck or they wouldn't be feeling pain. So asking the severity at the beginning is important, and then we check at the end of the emotion code session to see what the severity is and how much it's dropped. It doesn't always get to a 0, but very often it's 3, 2, 1, 0, and we might just have to remove a few more trapped emotions.
That's right. And the next one that we have is muscle testing.
Muscle testing. So in Dr. Nelson's book, The Emotion Code, he's got about 6 different types of styles that people can use to do muscle testing. And I'll just show you mine and Helena can show her yours. So once we go through the chart, which we'll show you in a minute, and we can only ask a yes or no question. So for me, I put my thumb and index finger together, and then I take my 2 fingers on the other hand and I put them here. If it's a yes, it's a nice firm yes. So again, we can only ask yes or no questions. Yes, and just a reminder, we're not psychic. I think I mentioned last week or the week before about the the mother that wanted to know if her son was going to get married this year. Can't really answer that. Not a medium. Don't have that sacred gift there. So this is my yes, and that's my no. It's just a no, the subconscious no. It's easy, and you don't have to put a lot of pressure on things at all when you're doing the muscle testing. And so for you, Helena, would you like to show viewers what you
Sure.
do on yours?
So I actually interlink my index finger and my thumb and interlink them. And then what I do is I've got an agreement with my subconscious mind that a yes answer is when my fingers lock together, and a no answer is when my fingers pull apart. And I find it all so fascinating, Dana, how this works, because I can be pulling here really hard thinking about a yes, and I can be pulling with the same amount of pressure, and it just won't stick together. So that's my no. And again, it doesn't need a lot of pressure, very gentle, yes and no answers.
Right. Great. All right. And the next thing that we do after we've done the muscle testing, well, we actually need to have an emotion code chart.
That's right.
And in this chart, there are, have you got the chart there? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, we both got charts that we work from. So there's 60 emotions. Dr. Bradley shortened this down from a list of over 200, and these are the most common emotions that will come up. So when we're muscle testing, we're going to ask our subconscious on behalf of the client, is it in column A? If it's a no, is it in B? So there's a B, it's a yes. And then I'm going to say, is it an even row? No. Is it an odd row? Yes. And then I just go down the odd rows. Is it 1, 3, 5? 5? All right. Is it 5? And so then I'm just going to look into those 5 trapped emotions that we want to release during the session. And Helena and I do 30-minute sessions. We do 45-minute sessions as well. And because Helena is a hypnotherapist, she's also adding some different tools to her toolkit. Myself, because I'm a law of attraction trainer, I'm going to be working with your mind, with what your thoughts are. Are you giving yourself a lot of negative self-talk? Do we need to turn that around and make sure reset the vibe and find out what positive things you want to go on in your life? So we've walked through that, and we've got the emotion code chart. And then what do we need to do from that?
We need to release the emotion with a magnet.
Absolutely. So these are the magnets that I use. I've got a couple of different sets. I've got one that's a $100 bill magnet for when I'm working with clients with financial issues or money issues, or women that are trapped in that whole entrepreneurial thing of, well, you've got to spend money to make money, and they get into a lack consciousness. So, I start working with them. So using the magnet. So for me, when I use the magnet, what's happening here is we've got all sorts of chakras, all sorts of energy points throughout our body. We've got an ethereal energetic field around us because we're all energy. Everything is energy. These magnets are energy. So when I use a magnet, the premise is that once I've found out what an emotion is, let's say I'm removing the emotion of creative insecurity. So I'm going to ask the question, does this belong to this person? Yes. Do I need to know more? No. Can I go ahead and release it? Yes. So then I take it from the grand meridian, which is here, starting just sort of above your lip, and it actually goes up your head and all the way down to your back. If a person's here, we can do the magnet down their back, but most often we're the proxy and doing it like this. So I just do 3 swipes like that. And what happens in theory is the magnet is energetically pulling out that emotion, and that emotion is becoming demagnetized. It's just kind of like in your wallet. If you get that credit card too close to the magnet on your wallet, then it demagnetizes. Same thing is happening here. So we're kind of canceling out that emotion, and we do it from there to the back of our head. We do 3 swipes when the emotion actually belongs to you. If it's inherited, then we do 10 swipes of the magnet there. Yeah.
Great. Good.
And
next one. Ready? Hydrated practitioner.
Absolutely. Before any of us do the call, I was actually doing some couple of emotion code sessions, one on a family member this morning and one on myself. Just something that I'm working through with a relationship with a family member. So I had my water. I had a little bit of coffee this morning, but mainly I've been drinking water. So it's important too that the client is hydrated as much as possible because that makes the muscle testing much more accurate. And as a baseline, we do test ourselves. So that's what we're doing there. Yeah. So why don't we say hello to a few more people?
Excellent. Oh,
Alina.
excellent.
Yeah.
Susan Darnell is watching from Vancouver. And also Dawn Skewers
Gurus
from
from
Florida.
Florida. Hey,
From
Dawn.
Florida.
Yep.
Yeah. And my friend Carrie L. Carrie, I just want to say a special hi. We met each other in Langley last week. We hadn't seen each other
Oh,
in
nice.
5 or 6 or 7 years. It was fabulous seeing you.
That's great.
Yeah, good.
Good. And so we're going to, one other thing we forgot to mention. Helene and I like to use this lemon. And this lemon kind of represents, Dr. Brad says that you can have a energetic trapped emotion the size of a lemon to the size of a cantaloupe. So we just kind of pick these lemons up. And if you can imagine, this stuck in your body inside, remember it's energy, so it can change its form. It's not going to go away. But this could end up being what the chronic pain on the neck is. It could be your migraine. It could be your shoulder pain. It could be the feeling of somebody stabbing you in the back. It could be lower back pain as well. So even though you can't see it, it's definitely there if you're feeling stuck or not moving forward or whatever. So Helena, you're going to go ahead and Suzanne Darnell has been kind enough to step up and offer to work with us today. So at the end of the show, we'll be telling you who we're looking for next week. So if you want to be the person that we work on for next week, stay tuned and just let us know. So Carrie Ellie is saying hi as well to you, Helena.
Oh, hi, Carrie. Good. So, there's my pen. I'm going to start to work with Suzanne. She's already shared with us some information. And we have Suzanne's permission to go ahead and do the emotion code session. And we feel that it's a 10. Suzanne, could you just confirm in the comment box that this is a 10 that we're working on? And the statement that I'm going to be using is, do I, Suzanne Darnell, have any trapped emotions that once released will allow me to have the courage to sit and discuss the work duties and responsibilities with my business partner? That's the statement I'm going to be using.
Yeah.
And
so Helena, just go ahead. You've got her permission, so you're going to be her proxy.
Good, and she's given it a 10, so I'm just going to check to make sure I'm hydrated. Am I hydrated? Excellent. And I'd like to become Suzanne right now. Oh, and we also like to just mention that before we start anything, our intention is good, and it's also, we always ask for a higher guidance and higher presence, higher self to be present, and angels and that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. And maybe next week we'll even do, I have a prayer that I was very blessed to receive from an emotion code diva, Barbara Hartwell, who is in the States, and she very generously sent me this prayer that she uses. I've kind of changed it so it fits me with what I'm working with. So we'll do that on one of the shows, and I always say it. And as Helena said, she's setting that intention. So while Helena's doing that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about sacred gifts. So this might be a new concept to you. I am a certified sacred gifts guide, and I guide people through a program whereby they will find out 3 to 5 of their sacred gifts. So there's 24 sacred gifts, and there are 4 lifestyle sacred gifts, and then the other 20 are gifts that every one of us has, and you will go through the program is actually, it's online, but I work with you as a guide, so it's a 4-week program. You will be doing 120 questions and inventory about what your interests are. Sacred gifts are different from skills and talents. The skills we can learn, like Helene and I learned how to do Blue Jeans, we've learned how to do Zoom, we've learned how to use a lot more technology because we've been taught how to do that. So that's not necessarily a sacred gift. A talent you may have, and a talent will be something that maybe you're good at playing the piano, maybe you're good at sewing or certain crafts, but you only like to do those things for yourself, and you're not interested in them sharing that with the world. A sacred gift, when you're using your sacred gifts, you're feeling joyful. They have meaning to you. It's meaningful to you what you're doing. You found the right vehicle to use your sacred gifts, and you feel on purpose when you're using them. So my sacred gifts are teaching, writing, wise counsel, and knowledge. So this makes me a very good business coach, business mentor. I love creating new programs. I love having people create programs. I've created 2 5-day training programs for people that I've really enjoyed doing. Even though I didn't know the subject, I just have that sacred gift, and it's very easy for me to do, whereas the people that were trying to write the programs, it wasn't easy at all. So if you're interested in finding out more about the Sacred Gifts program, you can go to empoweredwomeninbusiness.com/programs and then /sacred-gifts. And once you know what your sacred gifts are, it will make a huge difference in your life, because you'll also realize the sacred gifts that you do not have. So for example, if you happen to be in one of those network marketing fields where you have to have a lot of people in that are, maybe you host a lot of parties, if you don't have that sacred gift of hospitality, putting together those events, bringing people together in your home, or it doesn't even have to be your home, it could be at a community center or someplace that they meet, maybe getting food together, getting everybody energized. If you don't have that sacred gift of hospitality, it's going to be super hard for you to do that. So in work, if you're working with a team or a partner or whatever, you want to make sure that you've got complementary sacred gifts, not just skills that you're using in your business. For example, if somebody is expected to be doing the technology in a business, then they definitely need to have the skill of working with technology, but having the sacred gift of planning and administration could be a huge benefit to getting the organization on track. If somebody has the sacred gift of service, these are the people that are majorly good at multitasking, and they will jump in and do anything. But you might find a team member, you're looking at, everybody else is jumping in, and they're sitting there with their arms crossed, and you're thinking, why aren't they jumping in? Well, chances are they don't have the sacred gift of service. So that's another thing to consider with work relationships, is looking at what the sacred gifts of everybody is in the team, as well as even with Helena and I, we look at what gifts we have. Helena, being in the field of hypnosis and now emotion code, has to, and she does have that sacred gift of healing. I mentioned earlier that sometimes people think we're mediums or psychics. That's the sacred gift of sensitivity. And even though we are intuitive, Helena and I don't have that sacred gift. We're not mediums. We're also not people that can prophesize into the future. That's another sacred gift as well. So, some of the sacred gifts that are common are the gift of service, administration, and planning is a good one to have. People that are really good at fundraising. If you're in a volunteer, not-for-profit organization and you need a fundraiser, you want to find somebody that's got the sacred gift of giving, because they will be able to attract money easily, and they will love attracting money for your organization. So that's just a little bit about how the role of sacred gifts, the role it plays in your life, along with releasing some of these trapped emotions with work, relationships, family, heart walls, that sorts of things. So Helena, I would say that you're done. You've got your earbuds back in. Are you complete with that?
I am complete with that, and I'd love Suzanne to just process this for just a little bit. And that processing is as the emotions are released, as that energy is released. A lot of people find that they feel a lot lighter, a lot more calm and relaxed. Clarity comes in.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, there's a little emotional release in the sense of crying or even upsetness. I like to suggest to my clients that they go home and either connect in nature or just spend a little alone time, maybe even a lovely Epsom salt bath or something. But it was actually really great, and it went very quickly. And I think it went really quickly because of Suzanne's desire
Yes. Yeah.
to move forward with this. And so I've released some emotions like love unreceived, hopelessness, abandonment, indecisiveness, and some depression. And when there was all that, I looked for any secret or hidden trapped emotions, and I came up with overwhelm.
Ah.
And as overwhelm got released, it was like I just felt like the intuition, the message was, yeah, we're done,
Yeah.
and I just went, we're done. And something that we were talking about earlier is as you're a business coach, and you've been my business coach for a number of months now, and the one thing that we've recently been talking about is systems, business systems.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's because I'm not using my system.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets a little bit chaotic, and that's also where the law of attraction comes in as well, right? Because we'll work together to get clarity. We'll do a clarity through contrast worksheet. I'll take a look at your business. I take a look at your website. I'll have a conversation with you to find out if we're a good vibrational match. And if we're not, then it's better that we don't work together. I like to work with people that are taking their business seriously and want to take it to the next level. And whether they've been in business for a while or they've been doing it part-time and they want to do it full-time, there's lots of things that, pragmatically I can help you with on the business. I'm just going to read a comment here from Sylvia Bellini. We worked on Sylvia last week, or I did. And we worked on family relationships, and I started with one, and then another one popped up while I was doing it. So Sylvia says, hello, ladies. We'll watch you on the replay. Thank you very much for the emotion code session last week. Family relationships are much more harmonious. So that's what we want. And Sylvia usually gives us a weather report as well from London. So Sylvia says, yes, we've had a couple of inches of snow here. Very rare for London. Gives us plenty to talk about, though. And we, too, have had a lot more snow. I'm in Vancouver, North Vancouver, and Helena's on the island. And Kelly May Glover is saying hi. I know Kelly May from, she is a best practitioner, and she also has taken many of Joseph Gabby's courses, Soul to Soul Connection. Kelly May, I'm not sure if you're a numerologist or not, but feel free to go ahead and let people know what you do. I know you have the sacred gift of healing, and also how they can reach you. So that's just great.
Hey, and Misty Anderson is in the house. Misty, Alaska Misty.
Yeah, so we'd appreciate if anybody wants to do some hashtags, Emotion Code Divas. We'd love for you to share the show as well. We're doing it every Wednesday. And we have a few little teensy tiny technical things at the beginning. Actually, I was doing an emotion code session on myself this morning, just around confidence, because I do have the confidence to do it. I love doing it. I really do love trying new things, especially for business. And if you're in business, I mean, you can do your own Blue Jeans live show or your own shows. If you're in business, you know that video is one of the higher ranking on the search engines. It's get you up higher when people are looking for you. So we are the Emotion Code Divas. And I think, Suzanne is just saying it makes sense what you were talking about there as well. So yeah, go ahead and share. We appreciate that. Helena, tomorrow is March, and what's happening in March?
It's Menopause Madness March.
I love it.
Oh, we've got some great shows planned for you, and as always, we'll have a small educational component to our Facebook Live shows. So our first show that will be up is about hot flashes. And Dana, I'm not sure what's going on, but since I'd actually certified, interesting, my hot flashes are gone. I was suffering with them for a long time, and as long as I was doing things like acupuncture and getting lots of rest and stuff and herbs and vitamins and different things, it was good, but it's been great. So I do know that this motion code stuff really works for hot flashes. We're going to be talking later on in the month about sleeplessness, mood swings, and brain fog.
And I know for a fact, Helena, I mean, I'm way past the menopause, so they say we're always in perimenopause until we are no longer on the planet. But certainly if I would have known about emotion code, I did go a little bit of the pill route for a little while because the only thing I had was mood swings. And it may have to do with the fact that, I was 50, I was getting married, I've been alone for 20 years. I was moving out of the home I'd lived in for 15 years. I was moving with my 2 cats in with a man and getting married and all of that going on. And also at that time, I got laid off work. So, I didn't know what was going on, but I was crying a lot. And menopause never entered my mind, because there's so much going on, right? Moving and all of this stuff. And then, a light bulb went off and I went and saw my doctor who was also, she did a lot of naturopathic things as well. So we got me sorted out, but I absolutely believe that I would have known about the emotion code. It would have been a huge game changer for me. So we're really looking forward to, people sharing this, and we'll put up the link to it and everything. I think Friday they're going up, Helena, and then a few other posts. Yeah, we'll go up around that. So we'll just say goodbye to a few people then. Yeah, and thanks, Kelly's put in there. Oh, she is a numerologist as well, and a best practitioner. So she works a lot as well in the healing. So
and
I would
access conscious facilitator. That's really cool too.
Yeah. So recently I've been teaching Helena something called the Mortar March. So if you're not familiar with that, all of this stuff I got from Joseph Gabby's, because having the sacred gift of knowledge, Helena has it as well. We're always learning something new. Like and once we learn it, we want to share it. So it's different from a teaching skill. A teacher with the sacred gift of teaching simplifies things, can do how-to steps. This is how we do it. That's why I'm so good at systems, because it's this, it's this, it's this. But with the, Joseph introduced me to the Mortar March. You can look it up on YouTube. It's MORTAR, March, although I noticed that a few people have spelt it wrong. But it's just another way to work on with the subconscious and the physical body, doing certain motions that go deep into that subconscious. And that's just the way the law of attraction works as well, right? It's everything that's in your mind. Because Helena, how much of our mind are we actually using?
As I pull up the little picture here,
yeah.
We're using, if an iceberg represents our entire mind, we are using, we think we're using the top 10%, the conscious part of the mind.
Some of us are.
Yes, some of us are. But what's really going on is all the stuff underneath, what we're not aware of, that's our subconscious mind. That's about 90% of our mind. And that's what's really going on, is the stuff that's in the subconscious mind, and it's all automatic behavior. So tapping into the subconscious mind with the Mortar March, or hypnosis, or meditation, prayer, whatever it is, motion code, that's where the magic lies. I just want to let you know that I did that Mortar March yesterday for the first time. I finished, and it's just a few minutes, and my phone rings, and there's a client.
I love that. Great. Definitely got to get my pom-pom out for that one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. Yeah. So, check it out. What I've been using for me is I am thankful and grateful for my perfect is the way you start it. And then for me, I'm just using my perfect financial situation because I have some different financial goals this year because I want to do more traveling. So I'd like to attract more money to be able to do that with ease and just really enjoy myself and do all the things that I want to do. So check it out. And we'll just say thanks to Bethany for watching. Oh, and Suzanne Darnell is talking about Psy K. That's a good one too. been to people that do Psyche. I don't do it. I don't think you do, Helena.
I took the basic training, and
Okay.
it was good, and because I have the secret gift of knowledge, I'd like to take the course again.
Yeah, you do.
Relearn
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Good. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for today, ladies. Thanks so much for watching. So please do share the show, and if you've got friends that are watching. Oh, Helena, I almost forgot. If you live in the Vancouver Lower Mainland area, March 25th, in Fort Langley, I have a beautiful space that it's actually a horse farm. The woman there, Krista Brown, does healing. It's called Wisteria Acres Wellness and Retreat Center in Fort Langley. She has a beautiful space above the horse barn where I've done some workshops there before. So on March 25th, which is a Sunday, I'm going to be doing a workshop called Finding Your Life Purpose. I haven't got it up yet. We're going to put it up March 1st, but check out my blog post, my Facebook post. So the first part's going to be about finding your life purpose, and I've actually got permission from Michael Lozier to use some excerpts from his book, but I've also added my own things. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to be doing a Sacred Gifts workshop. And then, as a bonus for everybody that's there, drum roll. Yes, Helena and I will be doing the Emotion Code Divas. We will be doing as many emotion code sessions as the gals that step up. There could be some men there as well. That now they understand what some of their fulfillment needs are. They've got a little better handle on their sacred gifts. They really want to dream big, but there's something holding them back. So we're going to be doing some emotion code sessions that will allow any trapped emotions that they have about their brilliance, their time to shine, whatever it is, and we'll just flush those out, and they'll be on their way. So that's March 25th, and I will be posting that pretty soon. And Helena, you can post that as well. We'll post it in the Emotion Code Diva site as well there. That's it. So I just have to remember to turn the show off this time because sometimes I leave it on, and Helena's there and reading comments and all of that. Anyway, like I say, you know what? We've learned how to do it. We're very proud of ourselves. So
Yes.
I am now just going to stop the recording. So we'll just say goodbye to everybody. Thanks so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Goodbye.